Welcome to Noctalia, where mystery lives and the truth hides in shadows. Today, we're diving deep into the top 10 strangest unsolved cases in the United States. Stories so baffling, so eerie, they've haunted investigators and the public for decades. From bizarre disappearances to chilling crimes with no answers, these cases challenge everything we think we know. So buckle up and get ready for a journey into the unknown. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that will keep you awake at night. Case 10. The Watcher Mystery, the house that no one could live in. In 2014, a family in Westfield, New Jersey, finally fulfilled their lifelong dream. They purchased a beautiful, historic home in a quiet, upscale neighborhood. It was everything they had ever wanted. A fresh start in the perfect place to raise their children. But almost immediately after moving in, their dream quickly began to unravel. Just a few days after settling in, they received the first of many strange letters. The letters were signed by someone calling themselves the Watcher. But this was no ordinary fan or admirer. These letters were chilling, cryptic, and deeply unsettling. The Watcher claimed to have been observing the house and its new occupants for generations, even before the family bought it. The letters contained detailed observations about the family's children, their routines, and their comings and goings. Lines like, "We know what your children do when they're alone," and "The house is watching you," filled the pages, leaving the family terrified. Was the Watcher a dangerous stalker lurking in the shadows, obsessed with the family? Or perhaps a disgruntled former owner unwilling to let go of the property? Some neighbors whispered rumors about a dark history tied to the house, secrets buried deep in its walls. Despite involving the police and private investigators, the letters kept coming, increasing in menace and frequency. The family felt unsafe, isolated, and forced to leave the home they had once dreamed of. To this day, the Watcher's identity remains a mystery. The house, once full of hope, still sits vacant, a symbol of fear and unanswered questions. But what happened next in this bizarre saga will shock you, revealing that sometimes, the strangest mysteries are closer to home than we think. Case 9. The disappearance of Maura Murray, vanished without a trace. In the early hours of February 9, 2004, 21-year-old Maura Murray's life took a mysterious turn that would puzzle investigators and true crime enthusiasts for nearly 2 decades. Maura was a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, known to be bright and independent. But that night, after crashing her car on a remote road in rural New Hampshire, she vanished, leaving behind an abandoned vehicle, no clear destination, and no explanation. Emergency responders found her car crashed into a snowbank, with a missing headlight and damaged windshield. But there was no sign of Maura herself. Her belongings, including her purse and cell phone, were left behind inside the car. What makes this case so haunting is not just her disappearance, but the chilling silence that followed. Despite massive search efforts spanning days, months, and years, no definitive evidence surfaced to explain what happened to her. Was Maura overwhelmed by something in her personal life and intentionally vanished to start fresh? Some say she left clues hinting at this possibility. Yet others suspect a darker fate. Perhaps she was abducted by someone lurking in those isolated woods, or fell victim to foul play. Local residents reported strange sightings and unexplained noises in the area around that time, adding to the eerie atmosphere. And the cold February weather only deepened the mystery. What could have happened to a young woman alone in such a harsh environment? Theories abound, but no answers. Some pieces of her life puzzle have never been fully uncovered, and the question remains, what really happened to Maura Murray on that cold, snowy night? As we unravel these mysteries, remember, the wilderness is beautiful but unpredictable, and sometimes, it hides secrets darker than we can imagine. Stay with us, because our next case will challenge everything you think you know about safety in the wild. Case 8. The Dyatlov Pass Incident, a cold case from Russia that haunts American minds. Though the Dyatlov Pass incident took place thousands of miles from the United States, its eerie details and unresolved questions have captured the imagination of true crime enthusiasts across America and around the world. In early 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition through the remote and treacherous Ural Mountains in Russia. They were well prepared, seasoned adventurers, yet their journey ended in one of the most baffling and chilling mysteries of the 20th century. When their campsite was discovered weeks later, rescuers found their tent violently torn open from the inside, with footprints leading out into the freezing wilderness, many barefoot and inadequately dressed for the harsh conditions. What followed was a scene even stranger and more disturbing. The hikers were found scattered in the snow, some with inexplicable injuries. One had a fractured skull, others had broken ribs, and one woman was missing her tongue and eyes. Yet, strangely, no external wounds explained these gruesome injuries. Official investigations at the time suggested an avalanche, but the details didn't quite add up. How could an avalanche cause such targeted trauma without burying the victims? Could it have been a secret military test gone wrong, involving experimental weapons or radiation? Or perhaps something beyond human comprehension? Some even proposed supernatural forces or encounters with unknown entities. Despite decades of analysis, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unsolved, a puzzle that refuses to yield its secrets, haunting the minds of investigators and armchair detectives alike. Its eerie blend of mystery, horror, and unanswered questions continues to inspire documentaries, books, and endless theories, captivating American audiences who are drawn to its chilling enigma. So, brace yourself as we leave the snowy peaks of the Urals and return to the United States, where our next story dives deep into the heart of America's deadliest cold case, one that has shocked and mystified generations. Case 7. The Springfield 3 vanished on a summer night. It was a quiet summer evening in 1992 when 3 women mysteriously disappeared from their home in Springfield, Missouri. The victims, Suzanne Streeter, a mother, her teenage daughter Stacy McCall, and Stacy's best friend, Cheryl Levitt. The 3 were last seen entering the house around 9 p.m., and by the next morning, all 3 had vanished without a trace. What makes this case so baffling is that there were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no unlocked doors, nothing disturbed. It was as if they simply evaporated into thin air. Police conducted exhaustive searches and interviews, but no solid leads emerged. Over time, the case grew colder, but the mystery only deepened. Rumors began to swirl in the community. Some whispered about the involvement of a secretive local cult, known for its strange rituals and influence in the area. Others suspected the chilling work of a serial kidnapper, a predator who had eluded capture for years. Despite numerous tips and theories, the fate of the Springfield 3 remains unknown. No evidence of their whereabouts has ever come to light, and their disappearance continues to haunt the city and those who knew them. What really happened that summer night? Were they abducted, or did they run away? Is there a dark secret hidden behind closed doors? The truth remains locked away, just out of reach. And as if this mystery weren't chilling enough, our next story is even more unbelievable, proving sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Case 6. The Ista Woman, Norway's cold case with American links. In late November 1970, hikers discovered a charred body lying in a remote area known as Istalen Valley, just outside Bergen, Norway. The victim, who would soon become known as the Ista Woman, was found badly burned, her identity completely obscured. Despite intense investigations, the mystery surrounding her death remains unsolved to this day. What makes this case particularly chilling and deeply fascinating is the web of espionage and intrigue woven around it. Authorities uncovered strange clues, multiple fake identities, coded messages, and strange objects hidden among her belongings. She had deliberately removed all labels from her clothes and possessions, erasing any trace of who she was or where she had come from. As if from the pages of a spy thriller, rumors swirled that the Ista woman might have been involved with secret intelligence agencies, possibly caught in a deadly game of Cold War espionage. Some theories suggest she was a covert agent, while others propose she was a victim of an international assassination plot. But why does this European mystery resonate so strongly with American audiences? Because evidence hints at shadowy international espionage networks stretching far beyond Norway's borders, with some leads pointing directly to covert operations and intelligence activities involving the United States. Could the Ista woman's fate be tied to secret missions involving American spies? Was she a pawn, or a target, in a clandestine battle between global powers? Despite decades of renewed interest, modern forensic investigations, and public appeals for information, the true identity of the Ista woman remains a haunting enigma. Her story lingers like a ghost, raising questions about identity, betrayal, and the dark underbelly of Cold War politics. As we leave the cold forests of Norway behind, prepare yourself for a very different kind of mystery, one that shook an entire American town to its core and remains etched in the memories of those who lived it. Case 5. The Boy in the Box, America's Unknown Child. In the chilling winter of 1957, in a quiet neighborhood of Philadelphia, a discovery shook the community and confounded investigators for decades to come. The lifeless body of a young boy, no older than 4 or 5 years, was found abandoned inside a simple, worn cardboard box. The sight was haunting. The child showed signs of neglect and trauma, his small frame a silent testament to a story left untold. Despite an exhaustive investigation involving hundreds of leads, composite sketches, and nationwide searches, the boy's identity remained a mystery. No missing children reports matched his description. No family came forward to claim him. He was simply known as the Boy in the Box, or more poignantly, America's Unknown Child. For decades, law enforcement officials, journalists, and amateur sleuths alike have been drawn to this case. They have pieced together fragments of his last days, but the core questions persist. Who was this child? How did he end up in that box? And perhaps most haunting, who was responsible for his untimely death? The tragedy of America's Unknown Child is more than a cold case. It's a symbol of lost innocence and unanswered questions that ripple through generations. Families who never found closure, communities haunted by suspicion, and a nation left wondering. Some believe the answer lies buried in forgotten records. Others suspect that someone, somewhere, knows the truth but has chosen to stay silent. The mystery surrounding the boy in the box is closer than many realize, buried in shadows, yet waiting for the light to expose the truth. But before we dive deeper into this heartbreaking case, prepare yourself for the next story, where secrets and deception collide in a small town. Case 4. The Circleville Letters, Threats from the Shadows. In the late 1970s, a quiet town in Ohio called Circleville was shaken by a wave of anonymous letters that would haunt its residents for years to come. These were no ordinary letters. They were filled with chilling threats, dark accusations, and intimate secrets that only someone deeply connected to the community could have known. The letters targeted dozens of people, exposing private affairs and alleging crimes that many swore were untrue. The writer's knowledge was unnerving, often mentioning details that only close friends or family members could possibly know. This instilled a climate of fear and paranoia. Neighbors began to suspect each other, and trust within the community began to unravel. What made the mystery even more terrifying was the complete inability of the police to trace the letters. Despite every effort, the source remained invisible, a ghost in the shadows, tormenting the town with each new note. Then, in a twist that only deepened the intrigue, a suspect was identified and convicted. But here's the most disturbing part: the letters didn't stop. Even from behind bars, the threats continued to arrive, as if the true mastermind was still at large, or perhaps, as some whispered, the terror had taken on a life of its own. Who was really behind the Circleville letters? Was it a single individual obsessed with control, or a conspiracy woven into the fabric of the town itself? For decades, this mystery has kept Circleville on edge, leaving us to wonder, how well do we really know the people around us? And who, in the shadows, might be watching, waiting to strike again? Coming up next is a case that will challenge everything you believe about safety, trust, and the hidden darkness lurking beneath small-town life. Case 3. The Villisca Axe Murders. Horror in a small town, expanded. In the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa, the night of June 9, 1912, descended into a nightmare that still haunts American true crime history. 8 innocent people, 6 members of the Moore family, including 4 children and 2 young visitors, were found savagely bludgeoned to death inside their own home. The weapon? A heavy, bloodied axe left at the scene. What makes this tragedy even more chilling is the eerie silence and stillness of the house on that summer night. The killer had entered the home while the family slept, murdering them in their beds one by one. No screams were heard, no signs of forced entry were discovered, and the neighbors were unaware until the following morning. Despite an intense investigation, numerous suspects, and a parade of theories, the murderer was never identified or brought to justice. Some suspected a wandering madman passing through, driven by unknown motives. Others believed the killer was a disturbed local, someone with a dark secret hidden behind a friendly facade. Adding to the mystery, the crime scene was preserved almost exactly as it was discovered, becoming a chilling time capsule of that horrific night. Visitors to the house over the years have reported strange noises, cold spots, and unexplainable sensations, making it one of America's most famous haunted locations. The truth about what really happened in that quiet Iowa town remains buried beneath the floorboards, locked away with the spirits of those lost. But the story doesn't end here. Our next case is just as haunting, weaving together mystery and whispers of the paranormal in a disappearance that defies explanation. Case 2. The Sodder Children Disappearance, Christmas mystery that never ended. It was Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a night meant for joy and celebration. But for the Sodder family, it became a chilling nightmare that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. A fire broke out in the Sodder family home late that night. Flames engulfed the house rapidly, reducing it to ashes by morning. But here's where the mystery begins. 5 of the 10 Sodder children were never found in the wreckage. No remains, no trace, as if they had vanished into thin air. The family believed with all their hearts that their children had somehow survived the fire, kidnapped, spirited away in the confusion and chaos of that fateful night. But why? And by whom? Over the years, numerous strange sightings and mysterious clues surfaced. People claimed to have seen the missing children alive and well, sometimes in far-flung places, often accompanied by cryptic messages sent to the Sodders. One letter, for instance, contained a photo of a boy who resembled one of the missing children, but its authenticity was never confirmed. There were whispers of ransom demands, strange phone calls in the middle of the night, and even suspicions of a deliberate plot to erase the children from their home and their lives. Some believe the fire itself might have been no accident, that someone set it intentionally to cover up a darker secret. Despite decades of investigations, no conclusive evidence has ever emerged to explain what truly happened to the Sodder children. Their fate remains a mystery, a heartbreaking question mark that still puzzles experts, historians, and families around the world. Was it a tragic accident that tore a family apart? Or was it something far more sinister, a deliberate act of cruelty hiding in the shadows of a seemingly peaceful town? Stay with us, because our final case will take you even deeper into the realm of the unknown, with secrets that continue to baffle the brightest minds. Case 1. The Zodiac Killer, the enigma that still haunts America, expanded. From the late 1960s to the early 1970s, Northern California was gripped by fear as a mysterious figure emerged from the shadows, a killer who would become one of the most infamous and elusive criminals in American history, the Zodiac Killer. Unlike any ordinary murderer, the Zodiac wasn't content to simply commit heinous crimes and disappear. Instead, he taunted police officers and the public alike with a series of cryptic letters, strange symbols, and intricate ciphers sent directly to newspapers and law enforcement agencies. These messages were puzzles wrapped in riddles, daring anyone brave enough to decode them. Between 1968 and 1969, the Zodiac claimed responsibility for at least 5 brutal murders, though some investigators believe the true number could be far higher. His victims were often young couples parked in secluded areas, making the attacks all the more chilling. What set the Zodiac apart was not just his savagery, but his desire to play a twisted game with those trying to catch him. Despite exhaustive investigations, decades of DNA testing, and countless suspects, the Zodiac Killer's identity remains a mystery to this day. His ciphers have baffled even the most skilled codebreakers, and many of his letters are still unsolved. The shadow he cast over California has never truly lifted. Even now, more than 50 years later, the Zodiac's chilling messages continue to haunt true crime enthusiasts and professionals alike. The question lingers, could the Zodiac still be out there, somewhere, watching from the shadows, or did he vanish forever into the darkness? Some believe the killer grew old and silent, while others think he may have moved, changed his identity, or even continued his deadly work under a different guise. One thing is certain, the Zodiac Killer's legacy is a dark enigma that refuses to fade, a puzzle that challenges us to keep searching for answers in the shadows of history. Thank you so much for joining us on this chilling journey through some of the strangest and most baffling unsolved cases in American history. These stories remind us that beneath the surface of everyday life, mysteries linger, waiting to be uncovered, understood, and shared. If you found yourself captivated, intrigued, or even unsettled by these tales, please take a moment to like this video and share your thoughts below. Which case haunted you the most? Which mystery left you with questions that keep you up at night? Your comments help us build a community of curious minds eager to explore the unknown together. And if you want to keep diving deeper into the world of mysterious disappearances, unexplained phenomena, and true crime stories that challenge what we think we know, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Every week, we bring you new content that will keep your mind sharp and your curiosity alive. Remember, truth is rarely straightforward. It twists, it hides, and it often surprises us in the darkest corners. So stay curious, stay vigilant, and until next time, keep questioning everything. Because here, at Noctalia, the mystery never ends.